Okay, I'm going to review George Fest, which was a tribute concert to George Harrison, which was performed in 2014 and just recently came out. CD. This version is a double CD, which also includes a DVD, which to me is the highlight. This album, I saw it was also on vinyl, and I saw you picked it up, Mr. Mayor. I'm not sure whether that vinyl came with the DVD. I hope it did, for your sake, because to me, as a listening experience, this is okay, but the real joy is to watch the concert, because some of the songs, particularly where the vocalist is not strong, it's not much fun to listen to, I don't think. So, I'll just go through the tracks, and not every single track, but like Old Brown Shoe, Conan O'Brien, to watch is quite amusing. To listen to, it's not that entertaining, because Conan's voice is not very good, to be honest. I'm sure he won't mind me saying that. So I'm going to mainly talk about the video experience, and this is what should have happened with the concert for George. I think they should have released the CD with the DVD together in one package. I seem to remember it was released separately and not that cheaply. But whereas this was like £13, and it's a double CD plus the DVD. So, by the way, I don't know half the people on this album, so I'm not even going to try and talk about them or the bands they were from, unless I particularly know something about them. I'm just going to talk about whether I like their version and of a George song and their choice of material, okay? Because none of them are from my generation for sure, or very few of them. With one notable exception, as you'll see. So, Britt Daniel performs I'm Me Mine and does a decent job. Jonathan Bates, featuring Dhani Harrison, George's son, they do Ballad of Frankie Crisp. And Jonathan Bates sings it well. And he actually sings the Roy Orbison part on Handle With Care later on and does a very decent job of that. The thing which lets down this performance for me is they're chanting "Oh Sir Frankie Crisp" over the riff. Oh Sir Frankie Crisp. I'm really glad George didn't do that on All Things Must Pass, because it sounds dreadful, and even in concert, when they were doing it, I was expecting them to be kind of laughing or something, but they were doing it dead serious, and it doesn't work. Bad idea. Anyway, Norah Jones does a very good version of Something. Lovely voice. In fact, one thing I'll say about this album is George, I'm sure, would have been very happy that so many ladies put in some tremendous performances. Some very good looking ladies as well. Whereas the concert for George from 2002 didn't have any, I don't think it had any solos from any female vocalists, so that was nice. It's nice to see that. Got My Mind Set Anew from Brendan Flowers. Bad choice of a song. Well, it's not even a George song. I know he had a hit with it. It's not even my favourite when George did it, so I can dismiss this, and I always skip it, to be honest, if I listen to this or even watch it now. If Not For You, by a group called Heartless Bastards. Very nice version of that song, although slightly odd choice of material again, because Dylan wrote the song. So I would have thought that if you're doing a George Harrison concert, you would pick from the dozens of songs available written by George. For example, there's nothing on here from 33 1/3 or George Harrison or Somewhere in England or Gone Troppo, or even any of the songs he wrote for Cloud Nine, just the cover. So Be Here Now is an admirable choice of song from Ian Astbury, the album track from Material World, but such a slow song. I'm not sure if it works in a concert setting, so maybe the crowd, those people who didn't know it, might have been getting a bit restless, but it's a nice version. Wah Wah by Nick Valenci, very, very good version of Wah Wah. They really step it up a notch in terms of the rocking guitar, and it's brilliant. Jamestown Revival do If I Needed Someone. It's okay, nothing too special. Art of Dying, a very good version from Black Rebel Motorcycle Club. Good choice of song. Pretty obscure track from All Things Must Pass, in as much as any song can be obscure from that album, from the first 4 sides anyway. Nice one. Savoy Truffle, good choice from Dunny, and he does a great version. I'm not going to say this is a forgotten White Album track, because of course any track from the White Album has been heard by millions of people over the years. But I think it's fair to say it's not one of his most well-known songs, George's, so nice to hear it done by his son. For You Blue, J.C. Cole, nice version. Beware of Darkness from Ann Wilson of Heart. Again, nice version, and Ann Wilson also contributed to the Art of McCartney set, which I reviewed a couple of years ago, which is kind of a similar quality to this, but the downside is you don't get a concert to go with it, which, as I say, is the highlight of this package, for sure. So disc 2, we're moving on to Let It Down from Dunny again. It's never been my favourite track from All Things Must Pass. It's one of the weaker tracks in my opinion, and hence not the best choice for Dunny to do. He does a reasonable version of it. The verse is just about okay, but the chorus is loud and monotonous. I've never really liked this song, so not as good as Savoy Truffle for sure from Dunny. Give Me Love, Give Me Peace on Earth from Ben Harper. Very nice version. Very tasteful guitar, mimicking the original. Repeated 3 times at the end for some reason, that closing guitar lick. But very well sung and good version. Here Comes the Sun from Perry Farrell. Good version, mainly notable for Perry Farrell, his non-stop grin all the way throughout the performance. He literally cannot stop smiling, which is okay. Suits the mood of the song. And at the end of it, he comes to the mic and says, "Beautiful California sun." Okay, so that's Perry. Nice version. Oh, by the way, the drummer on here, I forget his name, but the drummer on most of these tracks is outstanding as well. What Is Life from Weird Al Yankovic. To listen to, it's pretty appalling. To watch, it's quite amusing because he kind of throws his legs and arms around a bit. But he hasn't got a great voice, let's be honest. He attempts to sing this song with some gusto, but it doesn't really come off, to be honest. Behind That Locked Door from Norah Jones, another outstanding performance from Norah Jones, and one of my all-time favourites of George's. Snuck away on side 2 of All Things Must Pass. Then we get the blast from our past, Mr. Brian Wilson, coming on and singing My Sweet Lord. And just before he starts, he reminisces on the DVD about when he heard this song, it blew his mind. And I'll pause for the playing. So Brian Wilson does a good version of My Sweet Lord. He's not playing keyboards or anything, he's just singing. And we've got Al Jardine helping him on vocals as well, and a whole lot of backing vocals, including Dunny. It's not a fantastic version, but it's pretty uplifting. I like it. Isn't It a Pity from the Black Rider. I don't know her name, but outstanding female lead vocalist on this song. She does a great job. So, you know, as I mentioned, some of these performances, particularly from the female vocalists, is just brilliant. And the melody of the song is brought out. And at the end, you know, the chorus at the end with it's got the same chords to the Hey Jude end, and I noticed Dunny was doing the La 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 Hey Jude ending on the Concert for George. And they're doing the same thing here, and I listened to the original All Things Must Pass, and I was turning up the volume, seeing if I could hear that Na 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 on the original All Things Must Pass album, and I don't know if I was imagining it, but I think it's there, but buried very low in the mix. So take a listen and tell me what you think, but I think it's there, but mixed almost so you can hardly hear it. Brilliant version. Any Road, Butch Walker. okay, nothing special, nothing special. I'd Have You Any Time, another complete highlight. Karen Elson turns in a brilliant performance of a brilliant song, the song co-written with Bob Dylan, the opener to All Things Must Pass. Richie, this is ridiculous. Then we have the Cold War Kids doing Taxman, very spirited version of that song, and pretty faithful to the original, maybe a little bit faster. And I'm glad they've gone back to the original Mr. Wilson, Mr. Heath lyrics. Where I remember seeing George in 1992, and they replaced those backing vocals with "Aha, Boris Yeltsin, aha, Mr. Bush." But they've gone back to Wilson and Heath, which I think works better. I mean, it's what the Beatles did originally, if nothing else. So, Cold War Kids, good version of Taxman. It's All Too Much from the Flaming Lips, the lead singer of which is wearing basically the same outfit as George wore in on the Apple roof, even down to the green trousers, I noticed. So nice one, and very eccentric psychedelic version of this underlooked song from the Yellow Submarine soundtrack. And then there's a guy doing weird keyboards as well on here who does a good job. And then Handled with Care, the Travelling Wilbury song, is done by a whole host of people, including Danny, and it's just done brilliantly, and it's a very moving end to the concert. They really do this song justice, and it is deservedly up there in one of George's, I think it's one of George's best ever songs, although he obviously co-wrote it with the other Wilburys. And that's not quite the end. We finish with All Things Must Pass, again, where the vocal is shared between Ann Wilson, Danny Harrison, Karen Elson, and Norah Jones. Just brilliantly sung with a lot of emotion. And when you're watching this concert, you have to. I mean, I think there's 7 tracks from All Things Must Pass, and you're kind of thinking, yeah, that's the best Beatles solo album, because song after song comes up in here from that album. It just blows you away to hear the cover version, in most cases anyway. So, thoroughly recommend this. This was recorded in Los Angeles somewhere. The Fonda Theatre, September 28th, 2014. I recommend it. It's worthwhile, definitely to watch if more than to listen to. Okay, thanks for watching. See you next time.